Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Sorry for being a little bit late. Had some technical difficulties over here. Low leverage longs to outperform. Let's get straight into the show, guys. So let's get stuck in with Bitcoin quickly, having a look here, because Bitcoin is attempting its SR flip over here. Of course, previous resistance turning into support. You can see over here, resistance, resistance, resistance. Over here, the zone, bang. And now it looks like we are flipping that zone into perfect support, which we did outline on Monday. Now the question is, are we just going to blast off from here, or are we going to come down into the absolute buying opportunity of that 100K to about 97K? That is the question that we have to, analyze and ask. And we must be prepared for both scenarios. In my opinion, this could just run away at any moment now. But we could also get that pullback into that 100K region, 97K region. So I would definitely be marking these levels off on your chart. A lot of people talking about a little head and shoulders over here, something like that. Not too sure about that. Let's see. I mean, if we do break down, I do think we could maybe have a little head and shoulders formation. But I think it'll, a lot of people will be scared if that does play out. And in my opinion, it'll most likely be the perfect buying opportunity. So let's have a look at that quickly, because here would be the left shoulder, here's the head, and then your right shoulder would be looking something like that, and we could see a little breakdown, something like that. A lot of people will be getting very scared if we see the situation, but I think it'll be providing the ultimate buying opportunity, guys. So definitely watch out. There's nothing bearish about higher highs and higher lows, guys. Nothing bearish about higher highs and higher lows. And we haven't actually had a proper pullback yet. So we mark off the levels. The 382 is coming in at 97.6K. I think this would be the ultimate buy, this zone over here, if that does happen, guys. So of course, altcoins would pull back a bit from there, but this would be the perfect buying opportunity, which we did outline on Monday. So definitely just patiently waiting for that situation to come out. I'm sure there'd be a lot of liquidity over here, So patiently wait for that opportunity. And this will be a massive opportunity, in my opinion. And if you put a long position from this zone up here, stop loss can just go, below that 200-day EMA. We don't really want to see price below there again. And we will be seeing a nice 3-to-1. If we do come into the zone over here, of course, we'll be targeting that 130K zone over there. So this is the plan, guys. Stop loss would just go below like 91K. We don't really want to see the zone broken down, because then it'll just look like we are going to break down into the downside. So this would be your invalidation zone. Easy trade, in my opinion, probably one of the easiest trades of the year. And you could easily 10x leverage this, 10% drawdown, risk 1% of the portfolio, 10x leverage, and see what happens, guys. So that is the Bitcoin plan. Nothing's changed from the Bitcoin plan. Let's have a look at Ethereum quickly, guys, because it has a solid bounce off the zone we were speaking about on Monday. We were speaking about this 2,500 zone over here. Got a nice bounce. And you can see that we are just forming a huge bull flag in the zone over here. Ethereum is most likely going to break out, guys. We have to give other benefit of the doubt to the bulls. A nice bull flag over here. Measured move would be to that 3,400 zone over there. Basically, this downsloping resistance zone over here lines up quite perfectly with that. So, definitely a trade opportunity, in my opinion. But first, we have to get through the resistance of 2,750. But definitely worth getting into a Ethereum long, guys. If we do come down into this perfect buy zone over here, that would be the ultimate buying opportunity. The zone over here between the EMAs, this EMA is slowly ticking up, but I think it's going to break out, guys. ETH BTC also showing a lot of strength over here. If we go to the 4-hour time frame quick, we do have a breakout zone, guys. So of course, we're just going to connect the highs, extend it to the right. If we do take out this high over here, it's going to be looking really good. And that high comes in at that level of 0.02578. So let's go back onto the daily time frame quickly. And that is the level to clear, guys. If we do clear that, then it is game on for Ethereum. I do see this playing out. Quick move up to that 0.0415 zone over there, guys. Let me know if you guys think this makes sense or not. We could obviously get a rejection off the 200-day EMA, flip that into support, and then get the move up, guys. Something like that. That is the most likely outcome for ETH BTC, in my opinion. Let's have a look at Bitcoin dominance, because it is starting to break down. We are getting that breakdown over here of this, upsloping support. You can see a breakdown over here. Boom. So if we close this week's candle underneath that zone, then this is looking like it could come to the downside. And we'd obviously want to see this level here be dropped. Something like this would look really good for alt season, guys. And remember, alt season happens very quickly. It happens like in 2 to 6 months is that alt season. So it happens very fast. And these breakdowns, are enormous when they do happen. Something like that, guys. This is exactly what we want to see. And that's exactly what we are waiting for, guys. So this is the plan at the moment. Of course, targets, our bearish case for altcoins is going to be 52%. Our bullish case for altcoins is going to be 42%. So guys, definitely mark these levels off on your charts, and let's see if they do play out. So USDT dominance, getting a solid rejection off the 50-day EMA, guys. Of course, very much expected. When you do test the 50-day EMA as resistance or support, you do normally get a rejection or a bounce. In this case, of course, a rejection. The hammer's over here. Are we just going to make a higher low and continue up? I don't know, but this is the ultimate rejection zone over here, guys. This zone over here, great place for rejection. So let's see what happens, guys. But for now, sideways is expected. So let's see, guys. Let's see USDC dominance in the same position over here. We have now reclaimed this 50-day, the 200-day EMA we've reclaimed, and the 50% level. So this is looking, it's in a bit of a stronger position. But of course, benefit of the doubt is to the downside. We are expecting upside for crypto assets. So look at Total, because Total had a solid bounce. We said this is the ultimate buy box between 3.2 trillion and 3 trillion over there. You see, we just came into this box on Saturday and a little bit on Monday. And we said, guys, this is the ultimate buying opportunity for the trade of the year. Okay, so the trade of the year is, of course, accumulating crypto longs or low leverage longs to outperform, guys. This is the low leverage long that is going to outperform. So basically, it's going to be an accumulation in the zone over here, guys. If we do get a leg to the downside, this is in my opinion, the last chance to get into crypto before that big leg up. And basically, your low leverage, 5 to 10x would be from this level over here. So, you could wait for a dip into this box. If we get a dip, we could just move on to the upside. But, this is looking really good. Risk reward at the moment is 6.34 to 1 if we do get some orders filled in the middle of the box. If we just, if we go from 3.2, the risk reward is 4.62 to 1, which is still a great risk reward, guys. So if we get another dip into 3.2 trillion, definitely worth having a stab at a long. Otherwise, if it's a long right now, if you just want to set and forget, you could take a long at the current levels and get a risk reward of 4 to 1. And of course, you don't have the risk of missing the move, So a dollar cost average in this box, a dollar cost average, obviously with time, and then obviously a price averaging system where, you are increasing the size of your longs, the lower down we get. But of course, invalidation, where we wrong, well, if we fall below the 200-day EMA and this previous support resistance zone over here, then we would say that, it's probably not going to move to the upside like this. But in my opinion, this is a great opportunity, guys. And if we just connect the tops of the previous cycle, so this was the previous cycle, this was the cycle before that. If we connect those tops, then we are seeing a potential move at the end of the year into that $5 trillion region, which is this will be the top, guys. This will be when we are exiting our spot positions and closing our low leverage longs. So low leverage. Okay, so basically this is why we're looking for longs, is because we are in bullish market structure, creating higher highs and higher lows. We are above all the important EMAs, and we are above the important Fibonacci and 50% levels. So, we are looking for longs, of course, guys. You can't look for shorts in times like this because the market is bullish at the moment. Okay, so now, of course, low leverage, we're going to do low leverage because there's a high chance that we are going to get lots of volatility spikes to the upside and the downside. And because of that, you want to have low leverage. If you have high leverage, you obviously increase your chance of getting wicked out, stopped out. I do see a lot of volatility in the markets at the moment. I mean, if you look at some meme coins, especially huge chops up and down, something like that. So yeah, this is why I would avoid the high leverage. So I'm going to go over some questions real quick. So one over here. Legit nuclear war isn't even slowing this market down. Yeah, I agree. Good time to get rich and wealthy. This is outlined by this chart. This is, in my opinion, the ultimate chart, guys. Total's looking really good. This is the best risk reward that I see in all the markets at the moment. Okay, could you explain how you apply the accumulation level into individual alts, or does it not matter to you? Yeah, so you do have to pick which altcoins you do think are the stronger ones. So you've got Ondo, which I think is looking good. I think you can accumulate Ondo in this zone over here. If we have to take this down like that, accumulate in this box over here, stop would just go below this zone over here. Or if you are more conservative, then you can put your stop over there. If you are aggressive, stop could go over there. I personally don't think this low will be breached at 66 cents. If it does, then I think we could be in for a longer sideways period. But if you are very conservative, then you can have your stop loss at 53 cents, something like that. You could long the zone right now, and this will give you a risk reward of 7-1. So this is a good example of a good trade, because very likely to happen, in my opinion. So this is very likely to happen, in my opinion. And the risk reward here is also great. So I would be looking for strong tokens, ones that you do want to accumulate and target. I wouldn't blindly bid any random altcoins. I would look at the strong ones, the ones that that are fundamentally bullish. And this is one, guys. This is one. This is a very conservative trade. Got a 36% move to the downside. So you can 2x leverage something like this. Of course, 2x leverage is low leverage, very likely to not get stopped out. And this is obviously an aggressive TP, but seeing a move at least into there and into there is very likely. So something like that. If you ever look at SUI as well, SUI is a great one to be accumulating. SUI is coming into our buy box over here, buy box being the 50% level and 200-day EMA. We said this is a good opportunity. And I think I will slowly start to accumulate a little bit of SUI as well. And you can also look at a 2x leverage over here. Very unlikely that SUI is going to come underneath this level over here. So, you can easily just have your long. There we go. Long over there. Boom. Stop loss over there. And then targeting the levels up here. So this is a classic trade, guys. This is a risk reward of 3.821, something like that, guys. So decent trade in my opinion. 1.618 is likely to happen. So this is a 3-1 risk reward over here. This is on SUI, guys. Okay, I was asking because it seems altcoins bottom. Yeah, no, of course. So you do have to pick which altcoins you are targeting and stick for the stronger ones. And some examples, how to identify a strong altcoin. Okay, so what you can see here is that we are creating higher highs. Okay, so high, low, higher high, higher low, and we are expecting a higher high over here. If you look at Ondo as well, we do see something similar. So we go to Ondo, higher highs and higher lows, guys. Higher highs, high low, higher high, higher low. If you look at something like, let's just go to something that is most likely terrible, like Jupiter. it's just not creating higher highs and higher lows, guys. Something like this. If we go to, let's go to say is a good example, guys. This is lower lows and lower highs, something like this, guys. So this is what you want to avoid targeting, because this is just not a strong coin, guys. So you want to see ones that are in a macro bullish market structure. Okay, ETH, we spoke about ETH already, guys. Easy long, in my opinion. If you are very conservative, you can also just 2x leverage this. Very unlikely to come back down to those levels, in my opinion. I'm personally waiting for either this level to be reclaimed, and I'll be longing here with a stop around here. Otherwise, if we do come into this level over here, I'll be longing this zone over here with a stop over here, and then adding to the position as we do go up. So that is my play for Ethereum. We did take that massive long from about 1.8 over here all the way to there. Tight stops, of course. And that was a good trade. So we have made the majority of this move. So we are going to wait for our levels to be reclaimed and for the go signals, to be firing before we blindly long Ethereum. So I'll say it again, guys. We want to get above 2,750 closed candles there. Then I do see the next assault up to that, 4K, 3.5K level. Or if we come down into this box over here, it'll be a good place for accumulation. So guys, comment some more altcoins. We'll have a look at some altcoin requests for now. But we can have a look at Dogecoin real quick. So Dogecoin, this is a potential trade idea on Dogecoin, obviously coming into the important zone over here. And we were looking for a long over here. It made a lot of sense. We are currently underneath the entry. Dogecoin, I think, you could be more conservative and wait for a reclaim of this level over here. Then you can open up this long with your stop over here. Otherwise, if you're just looking for a, trade, you could easily take a Doge trade like that. Okay, from current levels, stop over there. This level what most likely won't get taken out, so you can just take it along like that, and then away we go. What else, guys? What else is on the radar, guys? What else is on the radar? So look at XRP, guys. I personally think XRP, it is strong, but I think other tokens have a much better chance of running. So personally, XRP, not too sure. It is still above the important EMAs, which is crucial. But I do think the momentum is slowing down for XRP. If we look at the weekly time frame, so for that RSI to load, the RSI is at that 50 zone. We do need a bounce now. But if XRP does come to this $1.80 zone, then I will be a buyer of this level over here, guys. Okay, so WIF, also bullish on WIF. I think a WIF long is due. It came down to the level. I think it just missed my entry. I don't think I got the entry. Yeah, I didn't get the entry on this. I think I had, an order for about 78 cents. Didn't get it. But I think there is an opportunity for it. So I think we could be getting into longs on WIF. I am bullish on WIF. Do I think it's going to take out all-time highs? Not sure. But I think there is a high probability trade on WIF to at least $2.58. So this is my trade idea. Yeah, this is looking good in my opinion. Okay, I'll go Sonic. So let's have a look at Sonic quickly. 40 cents. Yeah, I mean, not great, but you can see it is at the range low. So you can't really be bearish at the range low, but we do want to see this start to move to the upside sooner than later. If you are a conservative trader, just wait for 62 cents to be reclaimed, and that should be your go zone. I'll go around. I'll go around, not looking too bad at 20 cents. This is an old trade idea, which didn't work out. But kind of just going nowhere, in my opinion. We have taken out this low as well. Did start to form some bullish market structure. Stuck below the 50% level. Not ideal. Personally, wouldn't be very bullish on this. If we get above 21.6 cents, then there is a long opportunity over there, stops over there, targeting higher levels. That would be the trade idea for Algorand. And we can have a look at AVAX real quick. Yeah, not too bad. Looking a little bit better than Algorand. 50% level. Yeah, we're currently finding support there. So definitely a opportunity over here for something like AVAX, the zone over here. Potential longs over here. But if you guys are looking for a more conservative trade, you could easily just be waiting for Bitcoin to make its move. If we go to the 4-hour time frame quickly on Bitcoin, we can just wait for a breakout. So you could easily wait for a breakout of the zone over here, 108. But if we do come to this level over here, it's going to look really, really, really good. I think this would be the conservative approach, guys. And also, stick to the strengths, guys. Stick to the strengths. At the moment, ETH is showing a lot of strength. So this is where your attention should be, guys. Let's focus on Ethereum. Ethereum is the ultimate trade at the moment. Cool. I think, the market's really boring at the moment. I do think we're just going to go sideways for a bit until we make a move. But this is just your little bit of, I'm going to say it again, guys, huge trading opportunity over here. Up to $5 trillion, big opportunities for spot. Pull back. This will be the ultimate buying opportunity, guys. Low leverage long over here. This is the ultimate trade, guys. 2 short-term trades. I'm not really a short-term trader, guys, but yeah, no, I'm not going to give any short-term trades, guys. Definitely not happening. The environment is choppy at the moment. We've obviously had a massive move on Bitcoin, so you can't really expect a massive, just continuation. So sideways cool off period for sure. And I think it'll be a great opportunity to get into those longs, build longs. We can't really short. You can take a short to the, 50-day EMA, no guarantees, not taking any shorts, of course. Yeah, potentially the wrong time to take a scalp, or a lot of opportunities in the scalp, but you'd have to check Dylan's channel over there. He's very good at scalp trading. I'm more of the day, swing trade, daily time frame, hold some trades for a few weeks. I've been holding my Ondo trade and my Ton trade for a while now. So I've got a little move up and down quite quick. But guys, hang on. Sideways period. If ETH comes into this box, this is a good buying opportunity, guys. Just a reminder. But guys, thanks so much for joining the stream. We will see you later this week. Cheers.